Bookish Babes, and welcome to my book nook.
We are monsters. We give and we take.
For those that are new around here, the name's Rainy. I read all different types of books from all different types of genres, primarily fantasy romance at the moment. If you're interested in that, please like and subscribe to my channel down below. It really helps my channel grow. If you're not new around here, you know my voice sounds different. I've basically lost my voice from my son and having to chase him around a theme park over the weekend. But we needed this video to be filmed, so you're getting Rainy's lovely voice, just like this. And today's video is actually going to be a, if you liked this book, read these books type of series. Because I've always wanted to do it. And I finally have books where I'm like, oh, I could actually recommend. And so I've pretty much read almost every single one of the books on here. There might be one or two that I recommend that I just feel like give those vibes, and I could be totally wrong, but I've pretty much almost read every book that I'm recommending and that I'm recommending it to be like. And so I have 10 recs for you, and so it's 10 if you like this, read these books. And most of them I have 2 recommendations for. And they run the whole gamut of like fantasy romance to thriller to romance to all the different things, okay? So if you're here for that, then we're just gonna get started. They're in no semblance of order at all, but here we go. So obviously we had to start with a banger, my favorite book, right? So if you loved Serpent and the Wings of Night and you really loved the competition aspect of it all, but maybe you also enjoyed like a good semblance of romance, but you primarily liked the competition aspect of it all, then I would highly recommend Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. And so this one is about Annie and Lee, and they were only children when a revolution rocked them in different ways, and I'm not going to go more into how, but they're both rising stars in this new regime, and they're both trying to become basically like the dragon leader of the clan for different reasons. Now they're rivals competing for the same fleet, and there are survivors from the old regime that come back intent on taking back the city, and so our main characters have to make a choice of how they're going to react to this, especially one of them who has a very interesting background. I feel like that was a terrible explanation, but I feel like I can't say a lot more without giving this book away. But if you really like the competition aspect of it all, and you also want dragons, this is the way to go. You want to focus and lean heavily more into the romance fantasy aspect of it. You don't care too much about the competition necessarily making sense. You just want Hunger Games fantasy romance type vibes, then I highly recommend Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So this one, think Hunger Games, there's trials, it's fight to the death. Even though it's not really, I don't know how to explain this book. There's a romance in this very heavily seated between the main character and the prince. And it's just a whirlwind of a story. I will say, this book is all vibes. This book is not like, go into this like thoughts empty. Don't go into this expecting the most spectacular book and writing you've ever read. Go into it expecting a good, fun fantasy romance time with Hunger Games vibes. And that is what we are going for, okay? So, once again, if you liked Serpents, try Fireborn or Powerless. If you liked There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, fun serial killer, smutty dark romance, then I have 3 books for you. I couldn't narrow it down to 2. I honestly could think of a lot more. They all have serial killer-esque vibes, okay? That's the vibes we're going for in this. Obviously the first one is the Mind F series by S.T. Abbey. Now I've actually only read books 1 and 2. I need to finish this series. However, it is very serial killer-esque, okay? So we have Lana, and basically she has been wronged by a bunch of men in her life, and so she is righting them wrongs, okay? She is getting the job done. She is murdering them up, getting them done one by one. But she also is having a relationship with the cop who is in charge of catching her, not knowing that he's trying to catch her, the serial killer. And it's very intriguing, friends. It's very intriguing, okay? So just go into this expecting a fun, smutty, dark, magical, but also suspenseful time. On the other hand, we also have They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. And this one really speaks to me more because of the women righting the wrongs thing, okay? So we have Scarlett Clark. She's an English professor and she's great at it, but she's also great at getting away with murder because she basically murders college men that deserve to be killed. They're terrible people. She does it for them, or she gets rid of them, okay? Except for then something goes wrong with one of her latest victims and she has to clean up the crimes and just a lot more happens. This is very much like good for her, good girl energy, serial killer vibes, like hunt him down. Also very sapphic, okay? I could not recommend this book enough. It's fantastic. And then we also have Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. If you're looking for the more comical side of serial killer, it's very like slapstick humor / the romance is a little cringe and kind of off page. Like once again, don't go into this for like spectacular writing. Go into this for like just a fun time. This one follows 2 serial killers who they actually kill serial killers. So they're like vigilante justice. It's killing serial killers that actually deserve to be killed, and then it's their romance as well. And I just had an absolute fun time with this. Like, live, laugh, loving over this book. Okay, so it's a very fun time, and you'll never look at ice cream the same way again. Once again, if you want There Are No Saints, you could do the Mind F series, They Never Learn, or Butcher and Blackbird. This one's pretty basic, but like, I just don't even care. If you loved The Fine Print or the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher, which is pretty fabulous, then you should read the Kings of Sins series, which is also a billionaire romance by Anna Wong. Okay, I know, these are very mainstream, very contemporary. You've probably heard of both of them, and you've probably recommended them together, but you know what? I don't even care. I just really enjoyed both of them. So, we obviously know the fine print. So the Kings of Sin series follows a bunch of different characters within like this world. Obviously, they're all billionaires in different types. And this one, King of Wrath, I think the first one is an arranged marriage. The second one is just like forbidden love. And then the third one is second chance marriage. And then the fourth one, I can't remember what the tropes are for that. But anyway, they're all absolutely fantastic. Anna Wong has a really great ability of like just tugging at your heartstrings and making you fall in love with each character while also just being very interested in their backstory. And so I very much love all of the characters in this. And it very much did remind me of my time with Dreamland Billionaires, which I also absolutely loved. So if you want a fun billionaire romance, and that is the vibes that we're going for, then both of these are perfectly acceptable. This next one, we're just gonna go with me on this, okay? If you enjoyed Mayfly, which if you've never read Mayfly, you should. I still don't know what my rating is for that book. Like, honestly, the more I think about it, I really did enjoy it. But that's not why we're here. If you liked Mayfly and you liked the unhingedness of it, because let's just talk about it, it is unhinged. It has a serial killer in it, but it also has a hockey romance, but it also has Disney princesses. I mean, it's all over the map. But if you want that unhinged, like, satirical type of book, then I recommend Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. This is a cult book gone a shade left, a shade crazier than you expect, okay? So we have Vesper Wright, and she left home at 18, never looked back. Her family was in a cult, obviously. She was in a very staunchly religious community. However, an envelope arrives on her doorstep where she's invited to the wedding of her cousin Rosie, except for it means that she has to reunite with her own Constance, who is like this former horror film star and forever ice queen. When she comes home, things are more than they seem. And I will just say, this book took me for a loop, okay? It took me for a loop. It veers off the forbidden path, and you just need to ride with it in all its unhinged state. Another great unhinged book in that sense would be Night's Edge by Liz Caron. And this one is about a world where there are vampires, except for vampires are obviously not accepted. And if they find out that you're a vampire, they're going to basically off you / send you like these concentration camps for vampires. And so the main character's mom becomes a vampire, and she spends her whole life trying to save her / not let her get caught by anybody, but also having to like feed her herself so that her mom is taken care of, because obviously she's a vampire. And it's just, they're very messed up, undynamic relationship, and also her trying to find a love of her own and just trying to not expose her mom in the world of vampire haters. And while this book did not necessarily work for me, and I think it is because I did not immersion read it, I do highly recommend reading the audio and looking at the book. It was good. I could tell that it's good. It has that unhinged quality that we're looking for. If you're looking for like messed up family dynamics and a sapphic romance and vampire-esque vibes, then like this book is for you. So once again, if you enjoyed Mayfly, I think you'll like Black Sheep, and you'll also like Night's Edge. Okay, next one is, if you enjoyed Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, then I think you will enjoy A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn. Now, they are both cozy-esque fantasies. So you're probably like, Rainy girl, when did you read these? Well, you know what? This one, I, at the time, rated it higher than I probably would have, because I just thought there was something wrong with me. I have since learned there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just not a cozy fantasy girly. But I'm willing to try this one again because I could find the appeal to it. However, that's not what you're here for. We're talking about why this book is like Emily Wilde. Okay, so this one is about Veronica Speedwell, and basically she hunts butterflies, and she has a way fancier name than that I just cannot remember for the life of me right now. But anyway, she ends up avoiding abduction with the help of this German baron who basically offers her sanctuary in the care of his friend Stoker, who is a reclusive and bad-tempered natural historian. And so Stoker is in charge of protecting her from being abducted again. But before the baron can tell her why she was abducted, he gets murdered, and they have to solve his murder while also being on the run from whoever killed him, because they're trying to get her too. And it's their very slow burn relationship. I mean, so slow burn, I don't think they get together until like book 5, and I'm only on book 2, okay? But this is very historical, it's whimsical, it's a magical time. I really liked the writing in this. You can't help but fall in love with Veronica and Stoker's relationship and their banter, and just, it's not matched, okay? It's unmatched. So if you're interested in that, that's a great option for you. I also think you would enjoy The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss, okay? Think Sherlock Holmes. Think all of the weird characters from like Frankenstein, Jekyll and Hyde, all those characters. Basically, their daughters all write a book together. So Mary Jekyll, after her death, ends up trying to find out about her father's mysterious past, and she ends up believing that Edward Hyde, her father's former friend and a murderer, may be nearby, and that there's a reward for information leading to his capture. But then she ends up not finding Edward Hyde, but his daughter. With the assistance of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, they continue their search for Hyde, and they gather around all other women, Beatrice Rappaccini, Catherine Moreau, and Justine Frankenstein, and they end up finding the secret society of crazed scientists. And it's this story where it's told where one of them is telling the story, and then every so often it'll have like script, and it'll be the other characters in the story saying, "You're not remembering it right." And so it's very like tongue-in-cheek, like very much meta type deal, but it's very cute, very fun. I think you would have a good time with this, and these are like the perfect recommendations for if you like Emily Wilde, okay? Go read these books. Okay, this one is solely because they're both Peter Pan dark retellings, but like I think they were both a fun time, so it's fine. It's whatever. If you enjoyed Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and you liked the dark romance of it all, and you liked the bad guy, I guess, winning, then I think you would like The Never King by Nikki St. Crow. Now this, in Hooked, Hook is like the main dude, okay? In this one, it's still Peter Pan. However, just go with me here, okay? So this one is about, for 2 centuries, all of the darling women disappear on their 18th birthday. Sometimes they're gone for a day, sometimes they're gone for a week, sometimes they're gone for a month, but they always come back different and broken. And then on the afternoon of this darling girl's 18th birthday, her mom is trying to make sure that she does not get taken, but she does. Because this time, the Never King and the Lost Boys aren't willing to let her go. And I will say, it's like polyamorous. They're like all with each other. It's like dark. Peter Pan is a little insane and feral, and there's a plot to this, okay? But it's not like the most magical plot you've ever read. And I've heard that these books go downhill the more you go. But this first one was a good smutty time, okay? But there are triggers. Don't just go into this blindly, okay? However, if you are a Peter Pan girly pop, this is for you. Okay, this next one. Go with me here, okay? If you enjoyed A Dowry of Blood simply because of the beautiful lyrical writing and prose, okay? These books are not nearly the same, but they have the same vibes. Then I think you would enjoy When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Now, have I read this yet? No. I'm currently 20% into this book. But it is reminding me of Dowry of Blood, because the reason that I enjoyed Dowry of Blood so much is because the writing is truly beautiful. It's lyrical, it's not too flowery, it's like the right shade of flowery. The prose is just beautiful, okay? Like, that girl knows how to write, and so does Sarah A. Parker. I feel the same vibes when I read this book. Now, obviously, this is not about vampires. This does have dragons, and this is stunning. I don't know how to explain this one, so I'm just going to have to read it really quick. Rafe's job is to kill, to complete orders, and never get caught. When a renowned bounty hunter is employed by the Crown to capture a member of the Ath, Rafe's world is turned upside down, blood spills, heart breaks, and Rafe finds herself at the mercy of the Guild of Nobles, a group of dual-beaded elementals who intend to turn her into a political statement. Only death will set her free. And there's like a lot more explanation. Honestly, I can't really explain this book to you. You just have to go into it blind, okay? But if you like the musical, lyrical, wonderful stylings, this could be a great contender to replace that. Now we're going into one of my favorite tropes, Evil Children. And if you enjoyed The Push by Ashley Audrain, which is such a phenomenal book, I just love that book. It has such bad seed energy, and I'm absolutely here for it. You might like The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry, okay? So, this one, I will say, the ending falls a little bit flat, but it's written so well, okay? So this is about Christopher and Hannah, married surgeon and nurse, and they want a child really badly. So they end up adopting this abandoned 6-year-old who shows up at the hospital, and they end up adopting her. But she's no ordinary child. She's very messed up. She's all sides of broken. She loves the dad, is evil to the mom when the dad's not around. And so she knows, the mom knows what she's doing. The dad just doesn't believe the mom, and so she's breaking them apart, and it's their story from there, okay? And when I say that the stuff this little child does is just downright unhinged and crazy, it is, okay? Just believe me and just go with the story. You might also really enjoy Baby Teeth by Zoya Stage. And I don't know why this book doesn't get more credit or more hype, because this is the only evil children book that I've read so far where the evil child has a perspective, okay? And I think that just bumps this book up a whole notch, because you actually get inside the mind of the evil child, and I think that this book is that much better for it, okay? So it's the same type of thing. It's about Suzette. She's trying to connect with her 7-year-old daughter who can't or won't speak, but she feels like she's hated her ever since she was a baby. And the dad obviously doesn't want to believe that the daughter is crazy, but she is, and so it's the same type of story. However, this one, like I said, that POV just takes it the extra mile, okay? These are some good evil children books. Next, if you like domestic socialite, like gossip, suburban housewife drama, and you really loved Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, then I think you would enjoy The Mother Next Door by Tara Laskowski. And I read this last year for Halloween, and it was absolutely fabulous. It was such a fun time. So this one takes place on Halloween Eve, which we obviously love on Halloween. And so theirs is a block party, except for someone ends up dying at the block party, obviously. And this is about the Ivy 5, and they used to be the Ivy 5. It's basically like the 5 richest suburban moms. And a new woman moves into the complex to take over, I guess, the spot of the 5th person that has left for whatever the reasons, and we don't know why. And at the Halloween party, all their secrets are going to be exposed. It is very suburban. It's very rich. It's very gossipy. It's very, like, I don't know how else to explain it. This book is just a fun, good time, but there's also a murder mystery aspect in it, okay? But if you're here for all the rich people drama, this book gives it to you. Another book that gives it to you in that same regard is One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. I absolutely love this book. I just ate this book up, okay? I won't say that I loved the ending too much, because the ending just went a little too south for me. But it's fine. So this one is about a bunch of women that live in this town, right? And they all have their issues. It says which of them will survive, which of them will die, and they all tell their secrets to their hairstylist, and the hairstylist knows all of the things, and at a party, something goes wrong. This also has all the suburban housewife drama, rich people vibes. I just honestly love a good rich people drama book. I really, really do. And there are so many more that I could recommend to you, but these are 2 of my favorite. They are top notch. They really get the job done. And then last but not least, if you love a good small town romance, then I have 2 for you, okay? If you liked The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, which is fabulous, an Alaskan, wonderful, small-town romance book, then I think you would enjoy Indigo Ridge by Daphne Perry, or the Edens series. Now, this is a romantic suspense novel, so there is an essence of, like, murder or just suspense, like crime. I can't really tell you. But this one is about Winslow, and basically she's the new chief of police, and she's determined to prove to the community that she didn't earn her position because her grandfather is the mayor. But then she ends up she has to win over the Edens, but she ends up accidentally having a one-night stand with their oldest son, who's like Quincy royalty, and so it's like their grumpy sunshine relationship, and it is just a fun, wonderful time. I didn't realize that I didn't even know romantic suspense was a thing until I read this book, honestly, and I really liked it for the small town vibes, also the slow burn relationship, and also just the suspense, twists, turns, the scandal, if you will. So this was a good one. And then, of course, I can't say that you can't read small town fun vibes romance if you don't read the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I'm holding up Reckless, but you should start with Flawless. This entire series is fabulous. It's just cowboy steamy romances, okay? Ye freaking ha. However, it does give me the same vibes as The Simple Wild, because, like, it's this little podunk town in the middle of nowhere, okay? They're in the desert. I'm kidding, they're not in the desert. They're in Alaska, and I don't know. They just speak like nature and vibes and all the things to me, okay? So just don't think twice about it. just read these books. And that is the end of this video. If you liked this, then let's put a mountain emoji because I'm looking at Indigo Ridge and it has a mountain on the top. Maybe let me know in the comments down below if you would like another video like this and you want me to focus on specific genres or specific types of books. Like, let a girl know in the comments what you want to see with this. I had a fun time doing this. I think that these are all fabulous books that you should read. And I was right. I actually have read all of them except for one that I haven't finished yet. But with that, my friends, I will see you guys in another video super soon. Bye!